My brother asked me to drop out of college so our parents could afford his tuition, but I showed them exactly where their money was going. My brother texted me a screenshot of his dream school acceptance with one line underneath. "You know what you need to do now." I stared at it for 10 minutes before I understood what he meant. Let me explain our family. I'm the oldest by 3 years. I worked part-time through high school, maintained 3.9 GPA, and earned a partial scholarship to State University. My brother Corey played video games, scraped by with C's, and somehow convinced our parents he was destined for greatness if he could just get into the right school. The right school was a private university with $48,000 yearly tuition. No scholarships, no financial aid, just our parents' retirement savings and a dream Corey had been selling them since sophomore year. I was finishing my junior year when the acceptance came. My parents called a family meeting that weekend. Mom looked like she'd been crying. Dad couldn't meet my eyes. "Sweetheart, we need to talk about next year." Mom's voice was shaky. "Corey got into Wellington. It's everything he's worked for." Corey hadn't worked for anything in his life, but I stayed quiet. "The tuition is significant," Dad continued. "We've run the numbers. If we're going to make this happen for your brother, we need to reallocate some resources." "What does that mean?" Mom reached for my hand. "We were hoping you might consider taking a gap year. Maybe 2. Just until Corey gets established. You could work, save money, and go back when things settle down." I pulled my hand away. "You want me to drop out so Corey can go to a fancy school he didn't earn?" "It's not dropping out," Corey said from the corner. "It's pressing pause. You're already halfway done. I'm just starting. My window is now. I have 1 year left. 1 year. And I have 4 years of opportunity ahead of me. Wellington has connections, recruiters. My whole future depends on this." Dad cleared his throat. "Your scholarship would hold for a year if you take a leave of absence." We checked. They had already researched it, already decided. This meeting wasn't a discussion. It was a notification. "What about my future?" I asked. Corey rolled his eyes. "You're getting a communications degree from a state school. I'm talking about Wellington Business School. There's a difference." I looked at my parents. Neither of them corrected him. I left that night without agreeing to anything. Corey texted me the next morning. "Stop being selfish. Mom cried all night because of you." Then an hour later, "Just take the gap year. You owe them after everything they've paid for." Everything they paid for. My partial scholarship covered 60%. I worked 20 hours a week to cover the rest. Corey had never worked a day in his life, but something in his texts made me curious. He mentioned connections at Wellington, recruiters, opportunities. He'd been talking about this school for 2 years with bizarre specificity, so I did some digging. I logged into our shared family Amazon account. Corey had his own profile but used the same payment method. His order history was interesting. Textbooks I didn't recognize, a Wellington sweatshirt from 6 months ago, a parking permit renewal. He was already enrolled somewhere. I drove to the community college 20 minutes from our house, asked the registrar if they could confirm enrollment for a student. They couldn't give details, but the look on her face told me enough when I mentioned his name. Corey had been attending community college for 2 years while telling our parents he was taking a gap year to find himself. The video games in his room weren't leisure. They were what he did instead of attending classes he'd already failed twice. I found his real transcript in his desk drawer, a 1.8 GPA, academic probation, a letter warning him about dismissal. He hadn't gotten into Wellington. He couldn't get into Wellington. He was planning to take our parents' money and disappear into a lie so elaborate it would take them years to uncover. I made copies of everything. Then I called a family meeting of my own. I didn't yell, didn't accuse, just lay the documents on the kitchen table and let my parents read. The fake acceptance letter he designed, the real transcript, the community college ID card I found in his jacket. Mom started crying again. Different tears this time. Dad's face went red, then white. Corey tried to explain, said he was going to turn it around, said Wellington was still possible if he just had more time and money, said I had sabotaged his chance at redemption. Dad told him to pack a bag and figure out his own housing by the end of the month. I graduated on time the following spring, got a job in marketing that I actually love. My parents refinanced the house to rebuild their retirement fund, and we don't talk about Corey much anymore.